So just before you go out and spend $500 on the brand new Hero 5, I would take a look at this thing right here. At just over $100, in terms of value for money, I've never seen a better action camera. So produced by the company The Eye, this is the T5e. It's one of their higher end models without possessing the higher end price tag, and pretty much from the second I took it out the box I was impressed. It feels very strong, very sturdy, it's small and lightweight, but it just does not creak whatsoever. We've got SD card support up to 128GB, and an HDMI port so you could plug it directly into your TV and view your footage on there. And just finishing off the product tour, you can see on the bottom we've got a tripod mount, so you can use that for traditional tripods as well as GoPro accessories. And we've also got 2 control keys just for navigating the device. Something which is very rare on action cameras at this price is a display, and this just isn't any old screen. At 2 inches and a resolution of 960 by 240, it's actually pretty sharp. It makes taking the videos so much easier, you can always see what's in the shot, and also navigation. And speaking of the navigation, it's very efficient. Not only is it fast, but it's also extremely easy to use. I was pretty much familiar with the entire software within about 5 minutes of using it, and there are just so many settings to play with here. You can do the basic things, you can change the resolution, the frame rate, the output aspect ratio, but more importantly you can change the ISO levels, the exposure levels, controls that are generally missed out on cheaper cameras like this. And then we've got the sensor itself, and the T5e really takes it up a notch here. We've got a 12.4 megapixel Sony CMOS sensor, which is also capable of 4K footage at 30 frames per second. And this isn't just any old 4K footage. A lot of cheaper cameras, they kind of say 4K just to kind of tick that box to get it on their spec sheet, but this is genuinely impressive. There's pretty much no grain whatsoever here. We've got high dynamic range going on all the time, and it's got electronic image stabilization built in. Whilst I suppose that isn't really a selling point in itself, and to be honest it's not as good as optical image stabilization, they've done a pretty good job with their software. Objects have a nice crispness to them, and that doesn't disappear during motion unlike it might with other cameras. On top of that, it's almost as if it was built for vlogging. It's got a wide angle, so you don't need to worry about falling out of frame. It's lightweight, so you can carry it without getting tired, and the micro USB slot means you can just charge it with a standard power bank. Right, so as you can tell, the microphone is also handling the voice pretty well. I'm standing in a park right now, so there's actually a fair bit of background noise, lots of wind, lots of leaves, lots of birds, but it's still picking up my voice surprisingly well. Something I thought was quite cool is if you want to get even more of what's around you inside the shot, you can switch on something called SuperView. All it's really doing is pushing the sensor back, so even though it does capture more of what's around you, the detail is exactly the same, and it's going to give you an even more exaggerated fishbowl effect. So a couple of things which did strike me when I was testing it is, first of all, it doesn't come with any accessories. I guess this is part of the way the company's managed to save costs, and for me personally I think it's a great idea. On top of that, the battery life tops out at 50 minutes of screen on time or 30 minutes of recording, which really isn't that great, but considering it has a micro USB slot, it wasn't a problem for me. I just kind of slapped it into the power bank and it was charged within minutes. Something else that's probably worth noting is that you can connect it directly to your smartphone and view the footage on there instead of the small camera screen. So anyway guys, that is the T5e. In terms of its feature set, in terms of its output footage, it's performing well above its own price bracket. Thanks a lot for watching, I'm Mr. Who's the Boss, and I'm signing out.